former olive oil factory at Tapiz.
Oh, huge. Yeah, and these are not by no means the largest, by no means the largest. And these would have been used very much for the storing of the wine. The wine would have gone into barrels, it would have been stored in these. These wouldn't necessarily be in fermentation. The fermentation would normally be upright, right, but this would have been storage. And this is typical of the older style Argentinian wineries going back 70, 80, 100, 120, 130 years ago, before concrete. Today, a lot of our tanks are made of concrete, our fermentation tanks. ¿Abierto?
No,
¿Para foto? ¿No?
La gente del hotel tiene las llaves ahí.
Okay.
Estos son monumentos, este de aquí son maniquíes a la Virgen de la Carrodilla, que es la patrona de los viñedos.
During the harvest festival, the floats are taken through the streets, and of course and there'll be various different interpretations of how to celebrate. Obviously, religion plays a huge part in winemaking, in agriculture in general. I mean, at the end of the day, you're in the hands of God for the weather. And so, to anything which is going to glorify any single part of religion, of course, the Catholic context comes in as well. And so this would be typical of stuff that would be on a float. It's pretty rough that way. But that's adobe. What they're doing here, and all our wineries were made of adobe, and this of course was probably more famous in Mexico. And adobe is a mud which is interlaced with straw to bind it, and the adobe artist, and they're coming harder and harder to find, he would tell you that if you take the mud and then take the straw and mix it with the juice from cactus, you'll get the best adobe for the strongest building. But if you didn't protect it, they would be absolutely covered with this stuff, for example, for their wedding. Silver is huge in indigenous language, both on this side and the other side of the Andes, and of course further up north. Every year we elect a harvest queen. It looks like here we've got photographs of harvest queen. That's a riddling rack. When you want to make champagne, as they're making here, there reaches a point when you've got to put it in at right angles to the rack. It has a notch on the bottom of the bottle, or a little white dot on the bottom of the bottle, and for 60 days you've got to give the bottle a quarter turn, but over that 60 days you've got to get the bottle turning it quarter every day, and you've got to get the bottle from this angle to this angle at the end of 60 days. So the sediment, which is a natural byproduct of the second fermentation, the sediment will drop down into the neck of the bottle. It'll be about this thick, the sediment, typically. And because you've been turning the bottle, it's going to be even. And then what you've got to do is to take the bottle of champagne and put it upside down into a freezer cabinet to bring the temperature right down. And the next day you take it out, and still keeping it upside down, you put the neck into an ice cream machine. It's not an ice cream machine, it's a tank full of glycol, and glycol won't freeze. And when you plunge the neck in, this part of the bottle, which is where the sediment is going to freeze solid. You then turn it over, and having a foolproof, bomb-proof type container, it can be an old barrel with the front cut off, you put it inside and you take the top off, and boom, the gas from the champagne, the pressure will throw out that plug of sediment, and you've got rid of all the sediment. So hence riddling. It's taken a 60-day operation to riddle.